Okay, it looks like this is a good time to start. So again, welcome everybody. Thank you for putting your name and organization in the chat. My name is Michael Goss. I'm the director of the Center of Excellence for Labor Market Research, and I'm joined by my partner.
Hi, everybody. I'm Shehzad Bhojani. I'm with the Alliance for Education at the San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools office.
So thank you. So today we're going to share this GIS map project that we put together. So we at the Center of Excellence of Labor Market Research, we're a grant funded initiative with the California Community College Chancellor's Office, and I serve the Inland Empire Desert region, which is the two Riverside and San Bernardino counties, 12 community colleges. And we receive funding to create an inventory of all the career education programs in the Inland Empire, the career education programs. But we noticed that there's other great partners out there like the Alliance for Education at the San Bernardino County Superintendent's Office, and they were doing some similar projects. So we thought this would be a great opportunity to partner, not only to get our deliverable of inventorying all the career education programs in the region, but also why not get the quick K-12 information in there as well? And then let's also map all of our employers in the area to see what types of business opportunities are available. So our goal for this project, the overarching goal for this project, is to discover if our K-12 and community college career education programs are in line with employer demand. So this is a very long-term goal, and we're going to work hard to figure that out to make sure if we have an employer, do we actually have programs within a reasonable distance of that school to serve the need of that employer. We know through evidence when students report back, we know where they went to school, we know where they live, we know where they eventually go to work. We know that our community colleges are truly our community colleges. The majority of the students tend to stay within the area, so we want to make sure that they have the training needed to work in their community. Round one. So what we did is round one. Round one was to inventory all these career education programs, as I alluded to. And we also had a great partnership with the K-12 pathway coordinators. They're located at each of the community college districts to pull an inventory of all those K-12 career education pathways available in the region. And I tell you, that was a tremendous task that group of 9 people did, pulling together all those K-12 inventories to create a current inventory. And then we reached out to every single community college and got their inventory of career education programs. So the inventories should be current, at least as of last term. So then we also wanted to put all the employers on a map. So we mapped every single employer and made bubbles on there, and we'll demonstrate by the size of business and how many employees they tend to have. So we've been working on a version of this map for quite some time. This is the first year we had an iteration where we actually had the GIS technology, and we were able to partner with some GIS technology work that the Alliance was already doing. So this is a big jump in technology from past iterations that we developed, but we've been developing inventories for the community college for quite some time, where we were inventory not only what the programs are, but what they're called locally, and also indicate if they provide a certificate or an associate's degree for these programs. So that's just a view of a previous iteration that we had. So again, our map partners were the Center of Excellence Labor Market Research. I described who we are. The Alliance for Education, hosted at the San Bernardino County Superintendent's Office, and also the K-12 pathway coordinators were pivotal to making this project work. So here's a little bit of information about the career education maps. So we were able to map about 75,000 businesses in the Inland Empire on this map. We mapped all employers that had at least 5 employees, because we figure if they have at least 5 employees, they probably will have some kind of employment opportunity attached to them. We find that many employers that have 0 to 4, as we all heard, most employers are small employers. That's very true. There's a lot of employers that have 0 to 4 employees. They're like, how can you have 0? How can you have a business with 0? If you're a business owner and it's a sole proprietorship, sometimes those people don't count themselves as an employee, so they would be a business with 0 employees. So there's quite a few of those in existence, and we wanted to cut those off. We want to just show opportunities where there potentially could be employment. And like I said, we mapped all those current career education programs and pathways at the high schools and the community colleges. And not only that, we thought this would be a great opportunity to showcase some of the work the Center of Excellence does. So we have some very basic labor market information on these maps, and also links to relevant reports that we developed, because we want to get those reports out to a wider audience. So if you'd like, you can follow along with me. I'm going to show a little demo of the map, and there's a link right here at the bottom. It might also be in the chat. Let me see. Yep, there's a link to the map in the chat, so you can follow along, play around with it, and then we're going to give you an opportunity to play around with the map yourself. So I'm just going to have a quick demo here. Can everybody see my webpage? Map webpage? Great. Okay, so this is when you go to the map, this is the first thing you're going to see. If you scroll down here, we just did a preliminary map here that shows the K-12 districts and the community colleges on the map. If you scroll down a little further, this is where the fun is. So you scroll down a little further, and we have each of these areas divided by our 15 California Department of Ed sectors. So these are a way to divide the region up a little bit so we don't have a big map with too much information. So I'll pick on an example of the health sciences. So when you go to the map, you'll see the map pop up. On the left-hand side of the screen, we have 10 colleges in our area. 10 out of 12 of our colleges have health programs, and 86 of our high schools have programs. So at this level, we can see each high school that has some kind of health pathway, career education pathway. And if you zoom in a little bit to a certain area, I'll pick on the Loma Linda area because we have that great Loma Linda Hospital. We can really zoom in and you can start to see who these employers are. So I'll just pick on Loma Linda Hospital here. And if you select one of the bubbles, the bigger the bubble is, the more employees they have. We have a key on the side that kind of gives you an indication how big an employer is. Oop. There we go. So we can see Loma Linda University Medical Center. Sorry, I don't want to staying up. They have 5,000 to just under 10,000 employees. We have a website that you can visit to get more information about them and what type of industry or sector they're in, and their general mailing address as well. And what's interesting too is you can look around this area, and just one kind of preliminary observation I noticed about healthcare. Of course, this needs a lot more study. Is it looks like healthcare employers tend to cluster together into bubbles. So if you have a big medical center, you'll have a lot of other medical services kind of clustered together in little clusters, little communities of healthcare. Where this map really takes off is if we go down the 10 freeway, down into the Riverside area, the Coachella Valley area, and then let's go to somewhere that's really remote, up the 62 freeway to our Morongo Valley. And we look at one of our smaller colleges, which is Copper Mountain College. We see Copper Mountain College out here, but it also gives an indication on what types of employers we have in this area. So if you select the bubbles, I did notice there was quite a few caregiving type medical institutions out here. So there's there's even opportunities out here. So this is a great opportunity for the colleges and the K-12s to look and see what types of businesses and institutions are around their area, and if they have any kind of programs that align to the business need of these businesses. So if we scroll down just a little bit further, this is where we have a complete inventory of all the career education programs. The box on the left is the community colleges, and the box on the right are our high schools in the area. And you scroll down a little bit further, we have some very basic labor market information. The number of what these jobs pay. Community college level is any occupation that generally requires an associate's degree or some kind of post-secondary certification. High school is just high school diploma type jobs, and we have different levels of pay. So on the 25th percentile, this is most likely what would be an entry-level wage for these occupations, and then we have the median pay, and then we have a 75th, which is on the higher end of pay. And these are averages for all the occupations related to healthcare and this education group. And we have the number of annual job openings, and annual job openings represents the number of jobs available due to growth in this occupation plus replacement need. So all those people who have those jobs transition to another job or retire. These are the number of jobs that will be available each year. And then scroll down a little further. This is where if you want to research, if you want to access some of the Center of Excellence labor market reports that we've produced in the last 2 years, we keep this list updated. So we have the name of the report, the data was produced, and a direct link to it that's on the Center of Excellence website. So it's a little bit easier to find these reports by the pathway. And these reports, just so you know, these reports are primarily used to develop new programs in the region at the community colleges. So We provide the current labor market data, we provide information from job postings, what employers are saying, what types of skills, who's asking for these types of jobs. And then we also give an assessment of which colleges have these programs, how many people they're graduating, and some of these strong workforce metrics that look into how the students are performing once they get the job, what's their average wages, are they employed in their field of study? So we provide some information and recommendations for moving these programs forward. So I'll give one more case scenario here, looking at the information communications technology sector. So if you want to find a really obscure program, not really obscure, but you want to find a program that that's a little bit harder to find, you want to find like where the cybersecurity programs are in this region. So a good example is you can type into the search bar here for community colleges. I just like to type in, just start with cyber, and then we can immediately see the local names of programs and who has cybersecurity type programs in the area. So if we just isolate that to cyber, so it looks at the local name rather than the name that's listed at the community colleges. So we can see all the programs that are actually trained to cybersecurity and the institution that provides it as well. Go back to the presentation. So another thing that we have on that page, I gloss over real quick, is we have, in case you're not familiar with the labor market terms definitions, you want to review some of the sources that we created. We have this page that's available on each sector page that provides definitions for each of these labor market terminology that we use, and links to several resources, including GIA resources. Thank you very much, team. So we have quite a few resources available. Now I'm going to throw it over to Shehzad, who's going to talk about a fun activity.
All right, so we figured it's got to be Mappy Hour somewhere. So we figured let's do something with Mappy Hour. As you saw, right, the map contains a ton of information. So it just depends on how you want to use it. And most recently, we've been using it for our SWP grants that we're trying to write, and just seeing right where the needs are in terms of the program alignment. So we're going to give you a chance to kind of get your hands dirty with the map in small groups. So what will happen is in just a few seconds, you'll be assigned to a breakout group. Get a drink, just kidding, you could. And when you're in your breakout group, right, select a group leader to complete the frame on Jamboard. And Jamboard is basically a way for you to kind of brainstorm what you're observing and put it on the board. All the participants will click on the link in the chat box, and that's posted already. I think most of you have done that already. I see some of the comments. Once you kind of are clicking on the map, you'll be able to kind of fill out the information that's on the Jamboard. So once you're assigned to your breakout group, the group leader will click on the link for the Jamboard. They'll go to the frame that you're assigned to, and you'll get input and kind of complete the Jamboard. Mike, if you want to go to the next slide real quick. So this is what the Jamboard is going to look like. What you'll notice on the very top, right, is where it says 3 out of 20. So if you're in group 3, you'll go to Jamboard number 3, and this is for the group leader to kind of go on to. And what we've done is we've assigned or pre-assigned a couple of sectors on the left here. And what we want to do is you as a group, right, to really kind of observe the map and make a few observations and see what surprises you. So a couple of observations, a couple of surprises, and have some discussions in your group about how you see using these maps in your work as you kind of go forward. So I think with that said, you're going to have about 15 minutes. So you won't be able to dig too deep in those reports that Michael was sharing, but at least we'll give you a chance to kind of play around and have some fun with it. So with that,
thank you, everybody. So we had some good conversations, at least in the group that I was in. Let's see. Okay, so first, if you see my screen now.
Yes.
Give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. So here's some key findings that we saw, just observations on the map. First thing to keep in consideration is it's not a complete universe. Again, we off the bat exclude all employers that had less than 4 employees or less. So all we have is employers that have 5 or more. So it's when we show like the employers map, it's not a complete universe. And there's some businesses out there that just are not quantified by the business list that we got. So it's just a reality. So here's some key findings that we saw for the energy, environment, utilities program. We have about 900 annual job openings, and here's the different levels that pay at the high school level, the median at the high school level, the community college level, and our bachelor's level. We only have 5 of our 12 colleges offer energy, environment, and utilities programs, and only 5 of our high schools. So we could see off the bat that that's possibly something that we want to look into to ensure that we're addressing the employment needs of these employers. And these are great jobs. So it's a good opportunity. Now, looking down at the arts, entertainment, and media, we have 11 of our 12 colleges have programs in this area, 101 of our high schools. So we have tons and tons of programs in this area. We have about 1,200 annual job openings in this area for these programs. And we have the different levels. Community college level type jobs in this area are at $24 an hour, and bachelor's degree is about $25 an hour. And we do know arts, entertainment, media, we sit next to one of the biggest arts, entertainment, media counties in the world, LA County, and we sit on the border of that. So for those students that are willing to commute, they probably could find these opportunities, but those are students that are willing to commute and live in those areas so they can get those job opportunities. For those that stay, it's a little bit limited for the amount of programs we have. And I would never say to a high school or community college, don't develop these programs. They're fantastic. They train great skills that are usable for other areas. But this is just an observation of energy construction utilities is a great area that we can expand. And arts, entertainment, media is probably an area we want to look and see that we're focusing on the types of jobs that we have in this area. So round 2. So we've already started round 2 development on our map. So what you saw is a round 1. We're going to develop any further. We ran into some tech walls on things that we can do that that we want to add to the map on the next round. So we are receiving fantastic comments in the field on how we can add more information. We've already had about 6,100 views on the map, so we're getting quite a few views just in the last. I think it's been up for about 2 months. So we're also looking to update the career education inventory. So update not only the community colleges because it changes from year to year, but also those K-12 pathways as well. And to my understanding, that work is already underway of re-inventorying all the career education programs at the high schools and include those local titles for those programs. So there's an understanding of what they actually train to. We're going to put in more labor market updates so we have a better idea of how the labor market looks in the area, including we're looking at a way to include some kind of way to include skills into this map. So that's something that we're uncovering right now. Updated business list. So we want to get a business list that's updated. Our business list, the last update was November 2019. We've had a pandemic. So we had a growth in some industries, like our logistics industries grew like crazy to meet the need of people staying at home, getting packages delivered to their house. And we have other industries that are still recovering from the pandemic, like our fun, in-person restaurants and live entertainment types industries are still heavily affected by the pandemic. So we want to get that updated business list so we have a more current inventory of the businesses in our area. And then we're looking to add district boundary type looks, so it's easier to find our institution. If we select Chaffey College, for example, we can see what high schools are in the boundaries of Chaffey High School, Chaffey College, and what types of employers in the area. So it's a little bit easier to see what's in everybody's territory. So that's just an example of a couple of the updates that we're looking to do in the next 12 months. So I want to thank, oh, you know what, Shehzad, I totally forgot. Does anybody want to, I know you guys were in those breakout groups. We don't want to waste that. Does anybody have any observations or feedback they want to share on what they've observed in the map?
I just have a question. How did you get the 900 and the count of 900 on your annual job openings for that first group there?
The count is looking at the types of occupations that work in the energy construction utilities type of program. So the count of the occupations, and then looking at the combined number of annual job openings for all those occupations combined.
I'm sorry, where did you see that on your tool?
Wait, where's it on the tool? It's in the.
Is it the report?
Yeah, it's if you look at the labor market section, if you look at the map, then you'll see the high school community college inventory, and below that, it should be on the bars. So we have the wages and we have the annual job openings.
Oh, I see. I thought
Yeah.
that was counting up the programs available at the college.
Oh, no, yeah, those are the actual occupations that are within that occupation or within that industry. Great question, thank you. Anybody else want to share any observations or any feedback? And because we are under development for round 2.
And I was looking at some of the Jamboards, and I think one of the surprises was to be able to add some adult schools on there as well, as we kind of look at the future and see where those programs align. I know in our group we had some conversations about having some of our universities, add their information as well, because a lot of the positions also require a bachelor's degree and more. So pretty ambitious in terms of what we can do with this, but some really good feedback in our group, and I'm sure in others too.
Thank you.
Great vision, great work. You guys are rocks. This is great. So important. So important. Thank you so much. Do you have plans for teaching people how to use it?
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun to do a lot of in-person training and in-person discovery on how we can use this map. We're still remote for the time being, but I'm really excited and looking forward to the round 2 where we can get a lot more granular information pull a lot more granular information out of this map.
Yeah, and Carlos, I think, yeah, and we're in the process of putting together a little video as well, just kind of equipping people on how to use the different features in the map as a starting point towards teaching them how to dig deep and be able to use it for multiple reasons.
It might be interesting to run like a data workshop where you invite people to participate in this.
Good point.
Just dive deep, and that way, because what's really important in this is capturing the questions people are asking, so that you can tune the tool to those questions that they're asking, and having those in-person opportunities or Zoom-like opportunities would be really important.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Michael, thank you very much for this. I think it's a great tool. And in adult education right now, we're entering the phase of our new 3-year planning across pretty much the state with the AB 104 initiative. And so this tool will really help us to create our regional plans. And in our group, we discussed the addition or the next phase of you adding adult ed sites to your listing. And so they already said that, because I brought that up and saying, that's a great pipeline into feeding into all the different, workforce areas and, how we're all kind of intertwined right now with strong workforce, adult ed and so forth, all the different initiatives and how we can leverage the resources to get those adults the resources that they need. So, I just want to say thank you, because this is a great tool that we could start with. And in the evolution phase of, you getting feedback, I think it's just a great tool. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that, Emma. That's a big thing. I'm so glad I got to connect with the Alliance for Education, because we really want to bridge that K-12 and community college system. So, if students take a program in the K-12 and they want to continue their education, we have a clear pathway on how they can do that. At least we're starting to build that clear pathway and how they continue. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All right, Michael, I think we're out of time.
Okay, we're out of time. Thank you so much. Here's the map again. If you have any questions, you can email me. And Shehzad, do you have anything to follow up on?
Yeah. No, I think that's about it, guys. Yeah,
Okay.
and I think we're always looking for feedback. I know in our group, there were some really amazing ideas on how to improve the map. So feel free to reach out to Michael or myself. This is a collective effort, on all of our region. And so please feel free to reach out to us as we go forward. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.